The Scottish Government estimates that 19,000 people in Scotland have the virus. Last Thursday, the Test and Protect system started. Does the First Minister know how many of those 19,000 infected people have been tested and how many of their contacts have been traced?
First Minister.
We don't yet have initial data from Test and Protect. I hope that if all goes to plan, the initial data from Test and Protect will be published next week. I would hope this time next week, because again, we have to make sure that is quality assured and that is robust. The 19,000 people, of course, will be people at different stages of infection, and that is a moving picture, and we will produce now every Thursday estimates of the R number and our understanding of the infection. But the information that comes out of Test and Protect will be very important, not just in terms of the numbers tested, but as Willie Rennie rightly says, the numbers of contacts that have been identified and the number of contacts that have been traced. I would make two additional points there, just as context. Of course, we have to ensure that Test and Protect is operating robustly and effectively and that is engaging with everybody either through testing or tracing that it requires to engage in. But over time, numbers through Test and Protect going up will not necessarily be a good sign, because it will be a sign that the virus is increasing again, and we don't want to see that. And secondly, just as a point of context, while everybody, as they should be doing, is complying with the physical distancing rules right now, the number of close contacts people should have should actually be very minimal. And I think it's important that as we look at these numbers, hopefully next week, those contextual points are borne in mind.
Willie Rennie.
What we do know is that only 264 people have been tested positive since last Thursday. So that's just 1% of those estimated to have the virus. Why are we missing so many people? That's 99% of people that we are missing. Test and Protect was the big idea to drive the virus out of the country, but we discovered it's only going to protect us from 1% of the virus. If that's the case, what is the value of the Scottish Government's Test and Protect system? Is it capable of eradicating the virus?
I yes, believe it is capable of playing a significant part in suppressing and hopefully eradicating the virus. I have said all along, as the Health Secretary, and it's a really important message that we must all convey to the population. It will not do that on its own. We all have to play a part in complying with health advice, and in particular the physical distancing guidelines. In terms of the numbers quoted, I would, again, without going into too much detail here, although I'm happy to write to Willie Rennie to set this out in a bit more detail if that would be helpful to him. The numbers that we publish daily on positive tests are numbers that come through the NHS lab testing. Of course, the other strand, which is through drive-thrus and the Lighthouse lab, are a separate strand to that. Well, Willie Rennie is saying they're minimal. These are and will grow as well, and we are signposting people through Test and Protect to booking the test through that and going through there. So what I would say to people about Test and Protect is, yes, absolutely scrutinise and look at the detail of that, because you can be assured I and the Health Secretary will be doing that very closely. But let's all of us recognise and take seriously our responsibility to get a message across to people, because we can't force people to come forward for testing, but we have to encourage people to do that and explain why it is so important. So let's all of us take every opportunity to say to people, if you have any of the symptoms of coronavirus, which of course is a fever, a cough, or a loss or change in your sense of taste or smell, then don't delay, don't wait a day or two to see if you feel better. Immediately go to NHS Inform or phone NHS 24 and book that test. So if all of us get that message across, then we will see Test and Protect playing the part it needs to play to ensure that we keep this virus suppressed.